Hello YouTube, this is Krow, and here I have the Gundam Astray Gold Frame Amatsu Mina Real Grade. And I definitely have to say this is a very, very beautiful kit. I mean, I'm a big Amatsu Mina fan, or maybe just a regular Amatsu, but really love the aesthetics of this kit. Always have. And it's definitely awesome to actually have this in a real grade scale with all the new kind of detailing as well as gimmicks and everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and just get started with start from the head all the way down to the feet, moving on to the accessories. Move on to the backpack, then the accessories, then kind of just give my final thoughts, maybe a little comparison with another kit, and that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and get started with the head. Okay, so starting off with the head. The head sculpt is really nice. I'm loving all the details that come with it, as well as a little gimmick of this kind of like, I guess, side head armor, kind of being able to come up so that way you can maneuver around the the body. Some detailing that you can get inside of there is going to be on the Vulcans at the top. I don't have the sticker right here at the top because I actually lost it, so I'm going to have to paint that eventually. You get some stickers for those eyes, but overall, I mean, it's pretty much nice detailing, and I'm actually really hoping my camera is going to be picking it up with all the glare, a little bit of lack of the lighting, and also with the black background. But it should come up a little bit, pretty good. So just wanted to show off the head and the movements. One thing I will say is that this kind of red piece right here does occasionally pop off. So I would just say be careful whenever you're handling it. Or if you want, just go ahead and glue some of the parts in place. If you're really, not planning on painting it, or I guess even if you are planning to paint it, just glue it in place. That way it doesn't keep on popping off. All right, so looking at the body also is going to have a lot of nice detailing that you can see. You got some places for panel lining in here, which I probably should have cleaned up. I didn't actually clean up a little bit of that panel lining right there. But you do get some nice places for paneling right on the kind of the torso area. Some nice decals that can be placed on there. The bend does have a pretty decent bend overall. And I guess the cockpit doesn't really come up. Oh, there we go. So you can kind of see that there is a cockpit in there, but there is no pilot. But that's still a pretty cool gimmick in case you want to just maybe get your own little pilot to put in there. But overall, the body sculpt is really nice. Looking at the back, there's definitely a lot of opportunities to go ahead and maybe paint some of these areas, especially like some panel lining. I just got lazy with it and I decided not to panel line any of the back. But I mean, I definitely recommend, if you have the patience and maybe a little bit of the time, go ahead and panel line as much of that back as possible. I just figured it's going to be not really shown ever in my display case, so I just kind of didn't feel like, hey, there's any need to panel line that part. But let's go ahead and move on to the arms. All right, so looking at the right arm real quick, obviously you can tell that this is the Blitz Gundam arm, but people, I know people are trying to say like, oh, there might be a real grade Blitz in the works. I don't see that happening, even though they managed to make a real grade Blitz arm. I mean, it'd be cool if it did happen, but I'm actually not going to hold my breath on that, just because I don't think that Blitz is really that much of a popular suit to get its own real grade treatment. But who knows? I mean, Bandai has done crazier things. But overall, you're going to get some nice movements overall. Swivel at the bicep. Get almost 100 and full 180 degree bend right there at the 2-point bend elbow, and obviously you're going to get some wrist movement. The joints are kind of tight, so I think that's a good thing because it can hold up its weapons and it can hold up any type of equipment or accessories that it has. But it's a little tight, so just make sure you're being careful with it and not like going too aggressive with it. All right, so looking at the other arm. Both shoulders are obviously asymmetrical as well as the arms, but I like that about the gold frame Amatsu. That's just something I've always you'll really love is the asymmetrical look as well as just the color scheme. So obviously you're going to have the same points of articulation in the elbow and the wrist. So nothing really too different, except for this part comes up just a little bit right here, but that's borrowed from the gold frame. Well, not the gold frame, the red frame. So you can kind of see like that bends up just a little bit, not really like too crazy. There's gonna be some parts for panel lining right here. As you can see, I didn't do too much. I just kind of, you know, did some basics in there just to kind of give it a little extra color. The shoulder looks nice. They got some nice decals you can place on there, and that's pretty much it. Alright, so looking at the waist, you know, it's a basic waist. Not really too much to say from it. I think it's exactly the same as the red frame. I don't think there's really any difference to this at all, except for just a color swap. So we can just go ahead and move on to the legs. Alright, so moving on to the legs. The one thing I will say is that because of this is the Amatsu Mina, the regular Amatsu actually doesn't have the pointy feet, and the legs are a little bit different because they're just going to be flat. They're going to be flat, astray feet. But you know, I like the Mina a little bit more because I do like the pointed toes. Kind of just gives it a little extra character to the overall suit. But yeah, the legs themselves are fine. They do have that, you know, real grade kind of articulation at the leg, at the knee. Feet are fine. The leg does kind of pop out right at the waist a little bit, so not really much I can say to that, except for if you want to tighten it up, you can just, you know, kind of glue around it, let it dry up, maybe sand it down a little bit, and then, you know, pop it right in there, and it should be a little more tight. But it's nothing like that's too problematic, to be honest. But overall, legs are nice. You get some articulation right here in the back as well, which kind of to me has no purpose. I don't really understand that. It's the same thing with the Blitz. The Blitz had the same kind of gimmick, master grade Blitz, and I just don't get why. The backs, you know, the back part looks fine. You could definitely detail and panel line some areas. I only did a little bit on the vents, but you could definitely go all out and do, you know, essentially as much panel lining and detailing as you want. But yeah, that's the legs. Okay, so here's the backpack. One thing you could probably tell is that it's a very glossy backpack, and with that, it's going to be pulling a lot of lint, hair, and fingerprints all over it. So I try to clean it up as much as possible, but I just didn't feel like wearing gloves. So I mean, sorry if there's going to be a lot of fingerprints on it. But yeah, it's very glossy. Now with this side, I'm just going to show you how it looks. You know, when it's kind of just in its normal mode, not really like all extended out with all of its gimmicks. So I don't know, the articulation is pretty fine. It can go out that much, and it can actually rotate right here, which is pretty cool, especially when you're going to do like that whole, like when it sucks energy or whatever. You can kind of, you know, replicate that pose, which I'm probably going to do when I kind of give the little build montage at the end of this video, or pose montage. You have a little articulation right here, and this part right here, whenever it connects to the back, can also lift up like that. Now on this side, I basically kind of have it all gimmicked out. So this flap right here actually comes out. You know, this can rotate out, and then this part slides, and then this part can bend, and then this part extends, and then this part can bend as well. So that's pretty much it about that. Oh, and these little flaps can actually come out like that. Alright, so looking at the first of all the accessories, it has the, I guess, shield plus missile launcher kind of sidearm. I know all the names are in the manual, but I just went ahead and decided not to actually read the names, and they're all like kind of complicated Japanese names. But you know, right here you can see the etched in name right here, which is, well, I guess not the name, but like it's, you know, serial number. And you got some nice places for paneling right here. You get some decals on the side right there. And then you get these little missile parts that I'm pretty sure they're missiles, but you can actually take them out and equip them in the hand if you want. Okay, so right here you're going to actually have the claw. This part can just basically rotate, you know, up and down, and then you can pull these claws out. And it doesn't really come out that much, but if you want, I mean, it's a cool accessory to have onto the kit, but it's not my personal favorite. But you know, overall it looks nice. I just wish that these claws kind of would have came out a little bit more. I just think that's too small of a reach, and it doesn't kind of seem like it serves its purpose whenever you're attacking the bad guys. But yeah, that's the little claw. And here you have the lance, which is actually my favorite part about the Mina. I think this is really awesome lance, and it comes with a couple of effect parts. So this obviously is going to mount on the side of the arm, and you can slide it, back and forth. This part you can actually open up, and you can take off this effect part, which is a part of the beam lance. And then this entire part right here rotates out. You've opened those two flat, and then you just pop in as much as you can. Alright, there we go. So you're going to have a beam shield, which is pretty cool. I think it's unique of a shield. I've never really seen it like on a lance, which is, it's already kind of beam weapon, but this is pretty dope. Whenever it is mounted, which I'll show you in the video, you can definitely see it's a pretty cool accessory to the whole overall kit. Then you get these two little regular swords. They're just going to go ahead and mount on the side of the kit. They're cool and all, but I mean, they're just really basic swords. But obviously with some paint, you can definitely make these look pretty cool. Alright, so you're also going to get this little stand. What the stand's basically going to be able to do is the tip of the spear will connect to the wire that comes with it, and you'll go ahead and so you'll plug it right there on the top, and this will actually attach to the lance itself. You're also going to get two more little wires. That's actually going to be for the I guess they're like little hooks on the wings that can basically latch inside the the enemy mobile suit. And some of the last things you're going to be getting is a couple of hands right here. So this one is just a normal kind of, not grabby, but kind of open hand that you can put accessories in. You're going to have one that's just an open hand kind of reaching out. And you're actually going to get this one that attaches, to the right arm, and it's going to be able to hold the shield on that side. And then you're going to have this little figurine, this little gold figurine that if you want to paint it, by all means go ahead, but you get a little figurine of the pilot itself. Last but not least, you're actually going to get a sticker sheet. There's some basic stickers, but I went ahead and used pretty much all of them, all the ones that were required to put on the suit. So you got a couple extra ones on the side that you can use for maybe another kit or so, but yeah, stickers. Okay, so here it is all together. Looking really good, to be honest. I know it's kind of like leaning a little bit because of the shield is pretty heavy on that side. But overall, I mean, it's definitely an amazing looking suit. I'm kind of the one that likes to, I'm pretty honest when it comes to like a kit that I would say recommend or not recommend. For this kit, it's kind of like a mixed feeling. If you really like the Amatsu Mina, I would say pick it up regardless if you just love the aesthetics of this suit. However, if you're not a fan of real grades, or maybe you never built a real grade before, I mean, this thing's pretty flimsy. It does pop off in some areas here and there, but overall, it's not a bad suit. I just think that for people that are not into this kit, then there's really no reason for you to buy it. Like, just save your money and maybe wait for a different real grade to come out. But if you truly just love the aesthetics of this particular suit, then I definitely recommend you picking it up as soon as possible. Now, when this kit actually first got announced, because I didn't know if there was going to be a real grade Amatsu Mina. I was never even thinking of that can never possibly happen. And I actually had the 1-in-100 Amatsu in my collection, and I just never got around to building it. So since I never heard any announcements for anything concerning the Amatsu Mina, nor did I hear any rumors, I was like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and knock out my my Amatsu Mina. So I started building mine, and basically this is how far I gotten on it. And I don't think this is the Mina. I think this is just a regular Amatsu, unless I think it is the Amatsu Mina 1-in-100. But as you can see, I started painting it. I started detailing it. Like the red and all that, because all that's just black, so I had to paint all that red. But yeah, I was actually pretty upset whenever that real grade got announced, and I was like, I already started building this kit. I don't really want to stop. but I actually did stop because I kind of got bored, and I was just like, let me start building something else. And you know, I already got a lot of the parts you know, already primed and ready to get painted on the runners, and that's been a couple of months now. So I'm probably gonna get back to painting this sometime soon. And as you can see, it's a pretty dull color in comparison to the glossy black and kind of some of the shiny other parts on there, but mostly just the gloss black on that. And this actually was gloss black, but I just went ahead and primed it and then did a few coats of a flat black on there, because I don't know, I'm more of a flat black kind of guy. I don't really care about the gloss. Although some kits I do like the gloss, but for this one in particular, I was like, you know what, I want this to be flat. So I think it's coming out pretty good. I just got to go ahead and you know, finish the rest of the parts on it. But yeah, let me put that back. Now I did actually build the real grade Stray. However, I didn't do any detail work to it. I didn't panel line it. I didn't finish his weapons. I didn't put decals on it because, kind of like with the 100 Amatsu Mina, I just got kind of bored with it. And I mean, it's a great suit. I really love it. Love the aesthetics. Pretty solid, to be honest. But I just wasn't really enjoying it. So I put it back in the box and I kind of just cracked it back open just for this review. I mean, you could definitely tell it's essentially a lot of the same parts all around, with the chest, the legs, torso, and then this arm as well. But pretty much this, I would say, not most, maybe like 30% of it's brand new, maybe 40%. But yeah, I think I'm gonna get back to panel lining, detailing. I might actually gonna do some weather on it as well, and start reviewing this kit as well. But the sword is broken on here because my cat got to it, so you're not gonna be getting a review on the sword. Alright, but overall, man, for this kit, I recommend it if you like the suit. If you don't like the suit, then I don't recommend it. But if y'all have any questions, or if y'all want to see any other type of reviews in particular, definitely hit me up on this video. Just go ahead and put a comment down below. That's pretty much about it. If you do have any questions, just comment, subscribe, and I'll be talking to y'all later.